Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. For all my new subscribers, thank you guys so much for joining the family. Please remember to like, share and leave a comment. For my seasoned members, thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey once again. So today I will be talking about or answering some questions that were asked on my previous video. I'm forced to leave my dream job. So a big shout out to Jazmen Green. She was the one who commented on these on the video asking some questions for clarification, and that is exactly what I'm gonna do in this video. But before I start, disclaimer, I'm not answering these questions to like defame the hospital or magnify the hospital in in any way, shape or form. But this was just my personal experience, and I feel like I can share it with someone so they can have a little bit more insight on the field that I was in, or in the unit that I was in. So let's get straight into these questions. So the first question that was asked: do you feel well-rounded in your skills after working there, specifically critical thinking skills? So I felt that I was, equipped with the necessary tools and with the necessary support that I needed to develop my critical thinking skills. And that is what I actually had loved about the formatting of how I was trained. In the ER, we had like different classes that spoke about like the different emergencies that you would typically see. And it's so funny because these emergencies that we spoke about in class, literally we were seeing them as the days went by. So that was pretty good. And then while you are in the ER, you're never alone during training. We got a year of training, and you're never alone. There's always someone that's there to help you. So if you get a patient, say with like a cardiac arrest, you'll never ever be alone, especially with a cardiac arrest. And then after you would debrief with your preceptor, what you did during the cardiac arrest, the medications that were given, the time frame in which medications needed to be given, how far apart you need to give medications, compressions, were your compressions good. So we do a lot of debriefing, and we talk about the different circumstances that we see on a day-to-day basis. And as far as like seeing patients throughout the day, over time you kind of get like a good sense of what's going on with your patient. And you can say in your head, okay, I know that the doctor is going to prescribe, say for instance, Lasix, because this person came in with fluid in the lungs. They have congestive heart failure. So like stuff like that, you will see these situations, and you will, think right off the back, okay, this is the treatment that this patient will need, and what are the possible outcomes, or what are the favorable outcomes that you're going to keep in the back of your head, to know that that patient is either getting better or they need like a different approach in order to treat that patient. So critical thinking skills, you definitely develop it over time, and the support was there for me in order to be confident in whatever I was doing. So I hope that answered that question. The next question is: do you feel after working there that you are able to take your skill set and thrive anywhere? Me personally, I feel like I can take the skills that I learned there and take it anywhere at all. And that is literally what I am doing right now. Um, like it's the ER, because if you think about it, everywhere in the hospital, I believe I said this prior, but every patient that's throughout the entire hospital, more than likely they did come through the ER. Broken leg, as I said, cardiac arrest, appendicitis, like all everything, it came through the emergency department first. So you have to, so technically you have seen the patients before they are distributed on the floor. So I would say yes, I feel very confident in that what I learned there, I can take it, anywhere else. I mean, certain specialties, of course, you're going to have to be trained on like specific things and the protocols and, all of that good stuff. But as far as being confident in your craft and know exactly what you need to do, then I would definitely say, yes, I was equipped in that way, in that I'm confident enough that what I have learned in the ER, that I can take it um, and practice anywhere else. The next question. Do you see a wide variety of things? I know some hospitals are known for a specific specialty like stroke. So yes, I see so many things. I can't say I've seen it all because I'm sure there's something out there that I've not seen before. But yeah, there's everything that I wanted to see, I saw, if that makes sense. Not that I wanted it to happen to anyone, but like, those situations I've seen, the things that I was interested in, and the approach in treating it. I've seen ischemic stroke, hemorrhagic stroke, um, patients who have had to get ventriculostomy, they had to get stents placed. I've seen someone came in with an active heart attack with a blockage. They had to, get, stents placed immediately. What else? Um, yeah, so many things. Then like the regular things, you have lacerations, you have your diarrhea, your vomiting, intoxication, you have your psych patients. Um, Sometimes you get a few level one traumas, level two traumas. So there's a lot. I would say that I've seen a lot in the hospital, and the staff itself, they're great in working together to get things done. I've seen A lines placed, seen patients intubated, seeing NG tubes being, pushed down while, you're doing an intubation or OG tube. Like I've seen the bulk of what I thought I would have seen in the ER. So that I was happy for. So yes, I did see a lot, and I felt like every situation was different, even if the patient came in with the same thing, and that's what made it more interesting for me, and I was able to again critically think and say that, or critically think and tailor the treatment that is specific for that patient. Because I mean, you can have someone with who came in, two persons with stroke, but what type of stroke did they get? What hemisphere of the brain was affected? What type of treatment? Were they on anticoagulants? Were they, do they have a long history of, high cholesterol, like things like that? So you really have to dissect and kind of look back and see what has been going on with this patient prior to them, getting a stroke, so things like that. So I feel like I've seen all that, I expected to see. And then the final question, last but not least, well, actually, two more questions. I know the ER is an area where teamwork is vital. Do you feel like you had a great team? I felt that the team was awesome. The team was amazing. And I always say that, like, the job doesn't change, but the people who you work with really makes a difference, and it makes the workload more manageable. I mean, you can have a day where it's not even busy, but if you don't have a good team, then it will seem like you're a one man standing alone. But the team, if you have like a really solid team, even on your busiest days, you guys are getting through it. For me, I feel like we had a great team there, or I had a great team there. Everyone was so helpful. There's not one time where we had an emergent case where I was left alone. There's not one time where I, called for help for something and I never got the assistance. Um, So I feel like the teamwork there was great. Everyone got along. Sometimes, we laugh, sometimes we cry, we go through the different emotions together. And that is what it's all about, because the situations, to be honest, are not the best all the time. But because you have, like, a family there, it makes it a lot more easier for you to get through it. So yeah, the teamwork there was spectacular. Like, I couldn't ask for, like, a better team. I mean, maybe there's a better team out there, but I was content with the team, the teamwork that was provided, amongst everyone. Everyone was so welcoming, and everyone was willing to help. I mean, some days you do get slammed where you have so many patients, like, coming in at once, and then you're down like a one and two hands, where you're not able to get, you know, um, everything done, and that extra hand would have been, of great help. But it is what it is. Some days, everywhere, I'm sure you're short staffed, so some days are different from some, and you just have to work with it. But as far as teamwork, yeah, the teamwork on in general, it's a great team there. I wouldn't change the team. And then the last question, typically, what is the nurse to patient ratio? At my facility, it is 1 to 4 or 5, and psych is like 1 to 8. So basically, what is the typical patient ratio? So I feel like I don't know how best to answer this question, because I felt like I started the ER during the pandemic. So I don't know what the ratio was prior to me getting there. But when I started there, I believe there was about 7 to 8 beds in one section. So I would say around 7 to 8 beds are in each section. So whatever section you're in, you're gonna have about 7 or 8 beds. Yeah, one, two, three, four. Yeah, around seven or 8 beds you'll have, like, in one section. Um, some sections are more difficult than others. Some sections, that are reserved for certain instances. For example, like, someone came in with cardiac arrest or a stroke, then you kind of know what section that person would typically go in. But yeah, for the most part, it was a one. I would say a 1 to 8 ratio. And then the good thing is that I'm not sure if that's how it is all around, but the good thing is that you have your own PCA, your patient care assistant, or your patient care technician in that section with you. So a nurse and a PCA is assigned to that section. So at least you have that point person to go to do vitals, do an EKG. That's also an extra eye, to look out for in a for if something is going on with a patient. So that was one of the good things, is that there's a one nurse and one PCT to a section, and that was pretty helpful also. So I mean, I don't at this point, I don't know what is the most favorable ratio, but for me, as I said, my struggle came where it was just a constant wheel for the entire 12 hours. And it was just too much. It was just too much. Working there was great. Love it still to this day, but it was just too constant. And I feel like by the time I get to 3 quarters of the day, then I'm so faded out. I'm so tired, so exhausted. I feel like, I can't do anything else after work. So that's my only flaw. I'm sure all EDs might be like that, but that was my flaw, and that was, the push to say, all right, you know what, you gotta step back and at least be able to, or jump in here and there and do it. So again, like, because I worked in the ER, my at my current job now, I'm able to, like, go to different units, take care of different patients, and that is what I really loved about the ER is that you don't get the constant situations all the time, because I like to expand on my knowledge. I like to learn new things every day, because you can never learn too much, and I feel like knowledge is power. So that is why I, just like going around and seeing like new things, new situations. So again, that was my push to get out of there. But these questions were great questions. I answered them to the best of my ability, and I hope it helped bring some insight to you, and I hope that you found it helpful. So thank you again, Jasmine, for posting these questions, and it was a pleasure answering them. And yeah, so that's just my insight on these questions. But thank you so much again. Thank you to everyone again for tuning into this video. If you wanted to see that previous video of how I was forced to leave my dream job, I will leave a link somewhere up here, and you can go and check it out. Once again, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for sticking around with me, and remember, life is what you make it. Bye.